Across the country, stray animal population have been rising as local bodies struggle to manage garbage disposal on the one hand and animal sterilisation on the other. Municipalities are required by law to ensure that stray dogs are sterilised, vaccinated and returned to their original locations. But with the cost of sterilizing one dog estimated rupees 1000, cash-strapped municipalities turn a blind eye to this. More major issues in implementing the ABC rules is that the government has to spend around rupees 70 lakh to set up a single ABC center if all its specifications are to be met. When we have the country which has over 60 million free-ranging dogs, how will sterilize enough animals so that the population will go down? Also, even after sterilization, we put them back on the same streets from where they have been caught. Their behavior has not changed. They are still the same animal. Dogs descended from wolves are inherently pack animals and have a natural inclination to hunt and chase for food as well as for fun, regardless of season or place. India's stray dogs population is huge and birth control has proven futile. There are no large-scale efforts made to educate pet owners about responsible pet ownership, the need to sterilize their pets. This not only affects the animal's welfare but also poses a threat to public health and safety. It is imperative that all dogs receive annual anti-rabies vaccination to reduce the risk of rabies spread both to humans as well as other animals. To truly eliminate rabies from India, animal health is key. Elimination of human rabies is dependent on the elimination of dog rabies, says the World Health Organization in its strategic framework for eliminating the diseases. For an effective anti-rabies vaccination drive, at least 70% of the total dog population has to be vaccinated every year. The Animal Welfare Board of India, the nodal authority for the management of street dogs, focuses on sterilizing and vaccinating stray dogs. But the country that tops the world in rabies death has no official rabies prevention policy. Dog bite account for death of 20,000 people every year. Half the cases are children below 15 years of age. Remember, these numbers are most likely an underestimation because rabies in India is not a notifiable disease like polio or tuberculosis, which means it is not required by law to be reported to government authorities. Over 90% of India's reported human rabies cases are from rural areas where people often do not have quick access to vaccines or may depend on traditional and faith killers that are completely ineffective against this deadly virus. The World Health Organization plans to end human rabies deaths globally by 2030, but that cannot be achieved unless India succeeds. One way to achieve this, the government to make rabies a notifiable disease like polio or tuberculosis, which will then force it to pay attention, allocate resources, create awareness and track progress. So union and state governments to make rabies prevention policy. Citizens to adopt native barrier dogs instead of buying foreign breeds. And this is the best option to gradually reduce the population of stray dogs and increasing the taxes on the purchase of breed dogs. We must promote responsible dog ownership by having aspiring dog owners acquiring license and register themselves. Dog control laws should also cover leasing, muzzling, picking up of faces and zero tolerance for homelessness. We must immediately begin euthanizing unowned dogs while encouraging dog owners to sterile their owned dogs. This is to protect people, livestock, wildlife, and importantly the dogs themselves from suffering and homelessness. Permit euthanasia or culling of violent victorious stray dogs, in particular dogs suspected of having contracted rabies.